Hi everyone, it's Jill Lancet. Hope that's straight. Look, I had a bit of a frog in my throat just before I came on here, so I hope that does not get in the way. But I've got a coffee. Now, I've got some big news. Please watch this space right now, because I've written it all down. Because, the old brain box isn't what it used to be. Now, the first thing I need to tell you guys is I am so excited and I am absolutely so pleased with myself. I did some technology stuff and I think I got it right. What I've done is, instead of requesting via email the project sheets for any videos, I've created a new Facebook page and it has in it the project sheets. So far, I'm still going to be adding to it, but you just click on to, look how simple is this, Jill's Free Project Sheets. That's the name of the Facebook page. Could it get any simpler than that? No, I don't think so. Now, hopefully I have added this link into the description. So if you click on more, a lot of information will come. Sometimes that's where I put measurements. If there isn't a project sheet and it's a fairly easy card, sometimes that's where all the information you need, like measurements and things like that, sometimes that's where that is. But now I have created this. You will be able to just go to that Facebook page, Jill's Free Project Sheets. Now there should be a link there so you can click on that and check them out. You need to go into, across the top there's a little toolbar underneath the picture. There's a little toolbar and it says things like about, discussions, things like that. One of them towards this side says files. If they're not already visible, click on that files and they will all come up for you and you can pick and choose. You can download them yourself any time of the day or night. How fantastic is that? I'm giving myself a pat on the back for that one because, yeah, technology's hard. It's really hard. And I didn't want to ask my son. He gets cranky when I ask him technology stuff. So, yep. It's taken me like a full day to work that out, but there you go. I'm probably on par with somebody that's been doing this for 15 years. But anyway, there you go. Also, the fantastic joining offer where you get the free stamping platform, this free stamp and positioner, free in your starter kit when you join. That's ending on March the 2nd. Now, if you wanted to take advantage of that, it's $169 Australian. I'm talking Australian dollars because I'm Australian. And if you want to take advantage of that, you choose what you want in your starter kit. You click the button that says join. It'll walk you through all of that. It's not hard. I did it. I did it like, 7 years ago, and I was even less technically inclined back then. So yeah, it's not that hard, but you that will be added automatically. No extra cost. You'll get free shipping in your starter kit as well. So that ends on the March the 2nd. So, put that down. If you're thinking of buying something, like if you're putting an order in, it's coming to nearly $169. Why not do that? Because then you get $235 worth of stuff. You can keep adding things to it till you get to $235 and you'll get that stamp and platform free. The next thing I wanted to tell you was there's a new product of the month coming in March. I haven't got an exact date. They like to keep us on our toes, but I've had a look at it. And it's another full stamp set, and it's beautiful. It's called Notes of Spring, and it's got little woodland animals in it. So a cute little bunny and a deer and some grass, stuff like that. You'll see that in March. Pop over to my online store. That is Australian. If you're in a different country, check out your local Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and have a gander. So that's coming. This is very, very important. There are going to be some price increases from the 16th of March. Put that date on your calendar because you might want to buy some of these things and get them before those prices rise. Now, obviously everything goes up. Have you noticed not too much stuff goes down in price, but these things are going to be increased in price. So they're in the following product categories. Some select stamp and cut and emboss products, the heat tool, cutting and scoring blade multi-packs. You need these. You need a sharp blade for your paper trimmer. Get those before they go up. I'm going to put an order in and get some of those myself. Some of the select colouring tools, storage, select adhesives, select paper products, including envelopes. So if you use the envelopes, the note cards with the envelopes, and say the masking paper, if you need more of that, put your order in before the 16th of March because they're going up on the 16th of March, okay? Some designer series papers will go up. Classic stamp and ink pads and refills. Check what you need. Make yourself a list. The stamp and blends are going to go up, and some embellishments, twines, and the linen thread. I don't think the linen thread has ever gone up since I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator. But there is going to be a new catalogue coming out in May. It is going to be the May to August catalogue, and these increased prices will be reflected in that new catalogue. So get in before you miss out. Now, the other thing is they're going to have 3 catalogues instead of 1 annual catalogue. They are going to have 3 like mini catalogues. So that will start in May. So no more annual catalogue, 3 new little mini catalogues that I believe are complete. So I forgot to write that down, but luckily, yeah, fortunately, I remembered that. Now, there's another thing happening too. They've got these new magnetic cases coming. Now, I've seen them. I haven't got any here. But they're magnetic ink pad. They stack. They've got the felt, which I prefer the felt. You know, I use a lot of the little mini ink spots. They're felt. I don't know. I prefer those. Now, they're going to be, the lid's going to be really easy to get on and off, especially for those people that are struggling. Like, I mean, sometimes I used to dislike the really old ones. Let me get one. I thought these were really hard. You know, you've got to push it in, turn it, slide it. And I used to, you know, under my breath go, oh. Then they brought these out. These, for me, I mean, I'm not kidding, folks. I have crappy hands, right? Everything's fallen apart. But these I found really hard. Sometimes they don't want to go. This is probably the best example I could have got of these. Oh, look. But they're really, really hard. Well, these new ones, the top just comes off. It's magnetic. And they stack. They fit into one another and they stack. Now I've got to get rid of that. Just hold your horses, honey. But they will start with, there's some new ink colours coming out in May. And the new ink pads will start with those 5 colours. So you will see them from the next May to August mini catalogue. You will see the new ink pads with the 2026 to 28 in colours. So they're gradually going to replace them. There's no need to rush out and replace all of them, okay? If it's already works, like it ain't broke, don't fix it, okay? But they will be, by 2027, I think, they will have rolled out all the new colours, all the old colours, all the current colours in these new style magnetic ink pad cases. Honestly, I can't wait. I cannot wait because, as you just saw, I struggle with them sometimes. And I've got dequavanes, tendinitis in here. this thumb triggers on and off. It drives me insane. So yeah, I'm looking forward to them, to be honest. Now that's the business out of the way, but don't forget that I'm going to get a new one of these. I didn't think to do that, but you need to check out it's a public Facebook page. Anybody can go in there. You can join it or follow it, whatever. Oh, I'm terrible. But it's called Jill's Free Project Sheets. Guys, I had to make it simple so I would remember. Yeah, purely selfish. Purely selfish. Okay, let's get to tonight's cards. Now, I've got a couple for you here that we're going to make. They're partially done as per usual, but I wanted to feature. This is new to me, and I'm not sure how much longer this beautiful, beautiful embossing folder is going to last. It's sunflowers. Now, when it first came out, I looked at it. I thought, you know what? I think I can live without that. Apparently, I can't. So it's a huge embossing folder. And it's 3D, and it does such a brilliant job. And then there's this new one. Okay, this new one's coming out, and it has a hybrid die. Now, just bear with me while I get that. Oh, there's the sunflower 3D embossing folder. Sometimes it's easier to see it on the packaging. But this is the hybrid die. Now, that's the folder for the embossing folder. Look, I'm all over the place, guys. Okay, that's the folder for that. But in the dies, now if you buy this as a bundle or as a suite collection, you'll get all of this. You'll get the embossing folder, you'll get the dies. Now, I did show you this the other day. I don't know whether I showed you that there's a second layer to this die set. But look at this one. This actually fits in here, and you can see where it goes. Now, just, she says, bear with me. There it goes. Look, if you lay it on there and then just gently wriggle it around, you will feel where it falls into place. Okay? So you close it, you do that, you close it, and then you lay your paper. It fits into both sides, okay? So you can see it's not moving around. That's moving around. But when I lock it into place, it won't move around anymore. It'll fall out if I go like that, but you know. So pop your paper in there, or pop your paper on top of that, close that up, and run that through your embossing cut and emboss machine. This is what you end up. I haven't made a card with it. I was just playing with it. It cuts out little pieces. It doesn't cut them right out, but it cuts them out so that you've got a little bit of a peek through to the back. So I'm going to play with that a little bit more, guys. So yeah, we'll have a look at that later. But I'm using that embossing folder, and I'm also using that gorgeous sunflower one. So now, I dragged this product out, oh, crikey, I don't know, probably before Christmas, around Christmas time. And it's called gilding, metallic gilding wax. Now, it had gone a bit hard in the jar, because I don't know how long I've had it. It's like, crikey, it's probably 10 years old. So I did a bit of Google. And apparently, if your gilding wax has gone a bit hard, you simply add a few drops of baby oil. For some reason or other, baby oil, it lives in my craft room. Now, there's a couple of uses that I can think off the top of my head. This, and when you're using your colouring pencils, the watercolour pencils. I have done one before. I might do another one just to refresh you guys. But what I did was I just put a few drops in and I stirred it around. It looks pretty ordinary at the moment, but it softened it up. It was really, really hard, so it softened it up a bit, and it means that I can use this again to its full potential. So and it smells glorious because it smells like bubbers. Who doesn't love the smell of a bubber? Anyway, so I decided that this jar was not very airtight. So all I've done is got some cling wrap. I've put it over the top like that. It's looks pretty messy because I've made a bit of a mess. And I screw it back up and I'm keeping it like that. But we're going to use this tonight, and I've got a couple of ideas to use to show you guys how to use it. Okay, so now, and it does get on you, but there's no harmful chemicals in it. It's wax. It's got like mineral oil, which is what baby oil is made from. So there you go. Now I want to show you, I had a bit of a play around. So this is that gorgeous leaf. And look at the colour. This is a retired colour called evergreen. What was it called? Evening evergreen. It's an extremely dark green. But look what happens when you put that gilding wax onto it. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. Here's some black. It's black on the back and the gilding wax. This one I embossed it. I went over it with our white craft ink. It stays wet for a little bit longer, and I wasn't fussed, so I just had a bit of an experiment and put some of the gilding wax over the top of that. You can see half of it's got gilding wax, some of it hasn't, and then I just straight out on basic white embossed that and put the gilding wax on it. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can see that, but it's gorgeous. So then I thought, you know what, I need to make some cards out of these bits and pieces. So I'm going to pop those over there. I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, we're going to make a couple of cards, and then I'm going to show you some that I've made already. So I have a piece of, and let me just think, is this, let me see, this might be mat 1. No, this is the size of our card base, because we can trim it down, because I want it a little bit bigger, because sometimes when you emboss these things, especially with the 3D embossing folders, it naturally, the paper size shrinks a little bit because, you know, it's now going up and down and all the rest of it. So this is the size of our card. Now look, guys. Oh, crikey, I still haven't found them. I've got some matte templates. They are in that new Facebook page, Jill's Free Project Sheets. If you do not have these matte templates, they come to you in a sheet. I have actually cut them out and laminated the sheets, and then I've cut out all the sizes because I convert to US letter size and metric A4. I have both, but if you're only in one country, then you know you'll be right. But they are in that new Facebook. So you know, I was requesting people email me, and I've sent literally, I've got to say, hundreds and hundreds. It could be even 1,000, and that involves me even going into my email and forwarding it and addressing it and all of that palaver. And I was like so desperate to find out how I could streamline that. I think I've come up with it, guys. Coffee, the sustenance of life. I think I read a quote somewhere about the evil black liquid that but anyway, look, this is a piece of basic black cardstock. It is the size of an actual card base. So it is 1/4 of your piece of either A4 or US letter size. So it's been cut in half and then cut in half again. Okay, now it's going to fit into here. I think I'll do it with this particular one. So we'll pop that over there for the minute. Now, whatever your requirement, your sandwich is for your machine, this is a 3D embossing folder. I can see the Stampin' Up logo there, so I've got it up the right way. Let me just pop that out of the way. And bear with me for a tick while I just run this through. I wanted to show you everything from the beginning, okay? So whatever your sandwich is for embossing 3D embossing folders, use that. Refer to your manufacturer's manual if you're not sure. I have an electronic one because I've got crappy hands and crappy wrists. Are you ready for that? Look at that. How beautiful is that? It's beautiful. It doesn't quite stand out though, don't you think? But anyway, that's what we're going to do. So I'm actually going to put some of the gilding wax on this. Now I've got a piece of grid paper here. Let's have a look. We'll open it right out. Now, I wanted to test this out before I came on, but I forgot. I had so many things to tell you guys that I simply forgot. But what I wanted to do was just take some of this, and I found, for me, this was kind of the cleanest and easiest way of doing this. So there's a few little lumps and bumps in this because I've added the baby oil to it, and, you know, it hasn't quite mixed all the way through. But that's fine, because I'm just going to take a bunch of it, like a big wodge of it, and I'm just putting it on my hand there. Don't forget, this is wax and baby oil, so it's not harmful. So I'm just popping that there like that. I'm going to leave the toothpick. That was just a toothpick. Now, you can use this very expensive tool here and just, it does sort of like blend much better once it's the heat of your skin is on it. You can use that and lightly just go over it like that. But you will no doubt hit the recessed areas, and that's fine if that's the look you want to go for. But look, I made these. They're just some of that dense neoprene foam. Now, I meant to try this out beforehand, but this one has just got paper stuck on it. This is 4 layers. This is 3 layers. I'm going to try it out right now, right here in front of you guys. So I'm just putting that on there. And because this is like a flat surface, I'm hoping this will hit just the surface of the leaves. So that's with my finger. This, I'm keeping it flat, and I'm just rubbing it all over. Now, yeah, I'm not really impressed with that. That's just hit the highlights. But you can decide what you want to do. I'm going to use my finger because I really did like that finish. It looks like the whole thing is metallic. So I'm just going to keep going with my finger, and I'm just lightly swirling that around. Now, I did find that some areas might be darker gold, some might be lighter, but I did find that you can kind of get in between those areas and smooth those areas out. But look, the look of metal is actually what we're going for here. So metal isn't always perfect, you know, like it doesn't always look perfect. So I'm just going to continue on. Now, these bits that I've already done, yep, I'm not going to worry about those because I can actually incorporate them into it. So I'm just going along with the ball of my finger. So this part here, with the ball of my finger. And you don't need a lot. I mean, you saw the amount that I put on there, right? And yeah. Now, it kind of does dry. You might be worried about the baby oil in this, but don't worry, because it doesn't affect the paper at all, okay? And it kind of does outline the leaves. You know, there's sort of like a bit of a black outline in the crevices where the gilding wax does not go. So I'm just going to continue on with that. And And it is kind of like wax. I looked up a recipe for it. You can make your own, but I figured by the time you bought beeswax, like pure beeswax, and then mica pigment powders, you might as well just go and buy a little tub of this. And as I said, I have to have had that for about 10 years or more. And there's so much stuff in there, there's so much wax in there that I'll probably have it for another 10 years. And now I know that I can, you know, thin it down if I need to, if it goes hard. Yeah, just add some more baby oil. I might just need a little tiny bit, and I mean a tiny bit, look, just to finish off this area here. Now, if I hold that up, you can see how gorgeous that is. It looks like bronze, even though that's like a gold. It's actually called, this one, and I've only got one, Golden Light Metallic Gilding Wax, and it's made by Creative Expressions. Now, I don't even know if they're still around, but there you go. Look at that. Now, I'm going to clean this up because, yeah, A, it's waxy, and B, it gets everywhere. I used a toothpick, tossed it out. So that's even economical. So, and I'm keeping my cling wrap in there now. So now I need to get this off me. And I figure that if baby oil thins it, then baby oil will probably get rid of it as well. So just bear with me while I do this. I'm just putting a few drops of baby oil on this bit of paper towel. Clean my feet. Oh yeah, perfect, 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 perfect. We'll get that off there like that as best I can. I'm not really worried. I would then go out and wash that, but I'm not leaving in the middle of a video. So that's good enough for me at the moment, okay? Right. So, good old baby oil. Keep some in your craft room. If you can't find baby oil, go to an art supply, a hardware. I don't know if health food stores sell them, but it's white mineral oil or mineral oil, I think it's called. Tell them what you want it for. Say it's, you know, to thin things down, and they'll know what it is. Look at that. Now I'm going to cut that down to size. So I want that to be, hang on, she says, I want this to be the size of mat 1. Now, in Australia, in an A4 country, mat 1 is 10 by 14.3 centimetres. If you're in the US, then your mat 1 is 4 by 5¼ inches. I hope that wasn't too glary, guys. So 10. Now you can cut it a little bit off this side, a little bit off that side. Why bother? So we're going to cut it to 10, okay? Now this is embossed, so I did buy some new blades recently, but I will be getting some more. So I've got a lovely new blade in there, and it cuts like butter. It's really, really good. By 14.3. So there we go, there like that. I'm going to hold that up again so you can have a look at that, because that is absolutely beautiful. I'm trying not to use gorgeous from my last video. If you watched it, there was an overdose of gorgeousness happening. But anyway, look, that's beautiful. Okay, so we've got that, and we'll need a card base. So I'm just using a basic white card base, mainly because I like these, because I can just stamp straight into the center if I want to pop a greeting in there straight away. And you know what? They go with everything. So I've just folded that in half. That was half of an A4 or half of a US letter size. A4 has been scored at 10.5 and US has been scored at 4.25, just to make your basic card base, okay? So there we go. We've got that. What else was I going to do? Hang on, because I've got some lovely little things for you to have a look at as well. Yeah. Now, the other product that I looked at, and yeah, I like them, but I felt there should have been more in the pack. Now, I'm not criticising, but they're called the Covered in Flowers Accents. Now, it was clearly stated that this was a 12 by 6 inch piece. And they're those gorgeous laser cuts, but you only get one. I thought there might have been two in the pack. But you get all these gorgeous, gorgeous cutouts. And so I'm going to use these to accent them. And now you can colour them. You can leave them white. In this particular instance, I'm going to leave it white. Let me pull it out of this glary plastic for you. So it is a sheet 12 inches by 6 inches, and they're absolutely perfectly laser cut. I'll pop this one out to show you. They're held in by the tiniest little bits. And if you gently pop them out, look at them. How gorgeous is that? So whatever I've popped out so far, I've put them into another little bag. And the bits that I've popped out of the middle, I've kept. I don't know what I'm going to use them for yet, but I didn't want to throw them and then go, oh, I could have used those. So yeah, we'll see, okay? Now, you could, I guess if you were clever, you could put some Post-it note over the one next to it, and then you could use your brushes to blend some colour onto these. You can use pencils. You can use your blends. You can do whatever you want. Ink daubers, whatever you want, if you want them coloured. Now, I've got some examples of that, and I will show you. But I thought these were gorgeous. These would just go on a single card. They're quite big. This one goes from there all the way to around there. This one goes both ways. So they're going to fill up a card, right? So I had popped this one out, and it's beautiful. Look at it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous leaf. Oh, guess what? They're leaves too. So I was going to make a card using that, and then I had a piece of scrap, just basic white, and I'm going to put a sentiment on there, and I can't remember what one I was going to put on there. Let me have a look. I sorted this out the other day. Oh, that's what I was going to put on. There are simply no words for this. Now, I will put all the details in the description below. There's not a project sheet because I'm going to show you all different things, okay? So there's no project sheet for this one. But I'm going to stamp this in the Memento Tuxedo Black. Now, as I told you guys, I like these little ink spots, and this is what the magnetic new ink pads are going to be like. They're foam underneath, and then they've got a cloth, like a woven cloth surface on them. I find these much easier to use than the sponge ones, but you know, that's my personal preference, but that's what you're going to get from now on, but not immediately. I mean, you still have your other ones. I'm going to give this a bit of a practice go just to check that out. Now I'm going to pop that onto this piece. I'm just going to cut it into a straight piece. I haven't even gotten any further than this part here. Whether we put embellishments on this yet, I do not know. But let me just see if I can line this up straight, hopefully. And then all I need to do is just trim that straight. Guys, if my head gets in the way, sorry. I have to tell you this, I'm in big trouble with my husband at the moment. Last night, I went to trivia. He doesn't come to trivia. He finds it boring. Oh, look, I smushed it too much. That's okay. I'll go this way. And I took his car. Like, his car is a bigger, you know, SUV style car. Mine's your little compact Povo packet. I don't even have the phone connected in it or anything like that. But it's a small car. I've been driving that car for, crikey, I don't know how long, 11 years or something. Anyway, our driveway is a double driveway, but we built it ourselves. And so my husband put this little retaining wall sort of thing. It's only as high, it's only about this high, which is about 8 inches or something like that. And it was like one big plank of wood, like a sleeper. If you're in Australia, a train line sleeper, okay? So, and he bolted it in, and, you know, my son helped him. My son sort of like was an apprentice builder at the time. And so, you know, they diligently put this in, put these big bolts that went all the way through and everything. Oh boy. And then I drove in and I tried to get in around my car and put his car here next to said little sleeper retaining wall. And I heard this. I was like, you know, I've heard that noise before. I ripped the whole side of the tyre, the whole side wall of the tyre. And it basically just went flat almost straight away. And when I say I've heard this before, this is the second time I've done it. So I'm not the most popular person at the moment, but, you know, he made me sort of suffer, you know, oh, how could you do this? What did you hit? Where did you do it? Show me this, show me that. You know, the whole palaver, blah, blah, blah. But it turns out his car needed 4 new tyres anyway. So he's gone out today and bought 4 new tyres. So is that a silver lining? I don't know. We probably could have got a couple of more months out of him, but anyway. So yeah, second time I've done that. And he went out today and he pulled the retaining sleeper thing out because the bolts were sticking out like this, and they're these big bolts. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm saying not totally my fault. I'm pleading the fifth on that. So that looks pretty good to me, I think. So I might just chop that off. Anyway, 4 brand new tyres on his car, and I don't know if I'm quite out of the doghouse yet, but that remains to be seen. So I just want a very, very small sentiment. So now I can actually, so what I'm doing is, you know where your little track is? I'm lining up the very, very end of this letter with the very, very end of that side of that canal. So I know it's going to be very, very close to it. I've just cut that as a straight edge, and I'm going to cut this one as a straight edge. You know, like, these are basic things, guys, but if you're just starting out, you're not sure how you got that to be so straight. Now, it's a shame that there's no line down here that I can line that up with, but I know that edge is straight. I know this edge is straight. So I'm just going to pop that there. I might just move it over just a smidge, because you can see that that's crooked. That edge is crooked. And it's not because the paper was cut crooked, it's because I stamped it and it wasn't 100% perfect. So if I pop that there like that, I can, look how thin this trimmer blade. Can you see that? Let me pop that up against it. Look how, that's like the width of a dog's hair. How good is that? Anyway, the rest of it looks pretty good. So we'll pop that on there. and we'll put this together. Now, I'm not sure what I want to put. What do I want to put? Do I want some sort of ribbon or something? Now, sometimes your trimmer, I don't know if you can see this, I can feel it. It's put a little bit of a lip on it. I mean, where the blade's zoomed through there, I always turn it over just so that I don't mark the front of it. And just do that. I do this when I'm fussy cutting too. It just sort of gets rid of the lip. And it looks very, very smooth now. Looks perfect. Let me see what I've got here. Oh, I know. I think I've got some black baker's twine. Let's have a look at that. We might pop some black baker's twine. I don't know how much we need. That'll do. Oops, sorry guys. So yeah, I want to glue that straight onto the card now because it's very bumpy and kind of a bit warpy. So I use liquid glue. If you prefer the, you know, the tear and tape or the tape runner, go for it. But I like liquid glue. It also gives you that little bit of wiggle room. You know, if it's not 100%ly placed, 100%ly, is that a word? Yeah, you've got that opportunity to sort of like, you know, move it around a bit. So I'm going to give that a minute. Because it's a bit lumpy and bumpy, I want to make sure that glue connects everything. So, yeah. What do you think about this new Facebook page that I've created? I am so chuffed. I am thinking, how good am I? Like I just invented that. Clearly I didn't, but I did have to Google how to do it. And oh boy, no stopping me now. Okay, look at that. Now, this is absolutely beautiful. It is laser cut. So smooth, so stinking gorgeous. So what I might do is I might just pop a bit of glue on the bottom here and put a couple of, what do you call those things? Stampin' Dimensionals, that's it, Stampin' Dimensionals. Oh, I got two there. I'm only using the minis because they were the ones that were there. But I'm putting it at the bottom of these leaves, like at the bottom. That will give that a little bit of freedom to sort of be up and forward. Let me see if I need any more. Look at that. How gorgeous. And look at the dimension on that. Look, let's do it. Okay, I'll pop a bit of glue on here. Now, I saw a lady do this. Oh, crikey, I can't remember where. No. She puts a bit of glue on her hand, just like I did where the gilding wax was. Just a little tiny bit. And then she dabs these things into it. Isn't that a clever idea? And I thought, I'm going to try that. So let me just take these off. Of course, you can then just wipe that off. And because it's there, it's not on your fingers or anything. It's not going to get in the way. But let's have a look. Where do we want this? I think I want it like, that. We'll have that going up just a little bit. Just like that. Now, not only is this lumpy and bumpy, it's waxy. So you may want to pop a drop. If they don't, oh no, they've stuck. I was going to say, if they don't stick, pop a little drop of your liquid glue onto those dimensionals, and that will just ensure that they stay stuck. How beautiful is that? Now, I think I'm going to do one of those gorgeous, gorgeous, really soft bows. So I've doubled this, and I'm doing the good old rabbit ears. When I get to that point, I flip that over. Hang on, hold your horses, honey. And then I pull all of them. I pull them all, because that way you get the right one. What do you think about that? We might even have that coming out somewhere like that. Of course, I'm going to pop these up, this sentiment up onto dimensionals, and I'll just check where I'm going to put that bow. Pop it like that and have that going across. I like it. Let's pop another couple of these. And take your pick. Oh, take your pick. We're nearly finished this card, guys. I've got a sentiment for the inside. As soon as I've done this, I'll pop that on there. Now, don't forget these really fantastic reverse tweezers. I love these things. They're so helpful. So we'll pop that on there like that. There are simply no words for this. Now, I've put this about a third of the way up, maybe just a touch more. I'm trying to center it so that it's centered. Pop that on there like that. And then I think we need glue dot for this. So let's have a look. Take the knot to the dot. Take the knot to the dot. And just squish it around there a little bit. And this is where your tweezers can also help you by squishing that in there like that. Go on, in you go. In you go. No, that's not where I wanted it. That is definitely not where I wanted it. I wanted it to be one of these really soft ones. So just hold your horses, honey. Ah, that's a bit better. Pop it under there like that. And one of these is not. It's that one. Look at that. I don't think you need. Oh, is that straight? Oh dear. Don't know if it's a straight. I might have used gold on there, but anyway, look, I've done that now. And I'm simply going to stamp, and I should have done this first because you know what's going to happen, don't you? You know what's coming. This is going to be crooked. It's not going to stamp properly. Oh dear. It's live TV, guys, live YouTube. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm loving that set. Listen, get that before it runs out too. That's one of those product of the months, and it's called Fabulous Sayings, and it is. It's my go-to at the moment. So I'm just going to pop Sending Love. Now I hope that's straight. I'm popping that about a third down from the top, something like that. Stamping down. It's in the black as well. And just giving that a second. Boy, isn't that gorgeous? What a beautiful card. We've made the paper ourselves. I've used one of these little pre-cut out leaves, bit of baker's twine, and that gilding wax. Look at it. Isn't that beautiful? That's a gorgeous card. Okay, so I've got a couple more here that I wanted to show you. I will put any details, any products that are in the description for you. So this one here, I have used one of the gorgeous cutouts, well, two of the gorgeous cutouts, and I've coloured them. As you can see, I've popped them straight out, and I've just used my blending brushes. Just very gently used these blending brushes. I've got a green and I think that was Blackberry Bliss on the outside and Berry Burst towards the inside of the flower. The green is crikey, I can't remember. But look, I cut this out for another project, and I was like, hey, I've got that. That's in Blackberry Bliss. So I'm going to pop that on there like that. I'm going to pop, I found that these leaves kind of nestle into a particular petal, kind of. So I'm going to glue it to that little petal from there. So I need some glue on the back there. I'm just popping it on the back here. I should have done the hand trick, shouldn't I? Oops, there we go. So I want it on the back of that part there. I thought this was a brilliant idea. I mean, you wouldn't want to wipe your nose with your hand because you'll probably go, oh, that's sticky. But anyway, look, I'm just going to pop. Where is my silicone mat? Would you know where that was? No, but luckily this has got a silicone mat on it here. Hang on. I'm going to pop that down there. My glue is on there. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't nestle in perfectly, but it kind of does. Look at that. So there we go. So I thought that was cute and clever. Now I'm going to do the same thing and glue that onto that. And that's a circle that I would have, you know, put into my busy box. I can just see a little bit of rough paper there. So back onto the back of my hand with some more glue. And we kind of want to just put this all over. I thought this was a great tip. I thought it was absolutely brilliant because your hand bends, you know, like. Anyway, I'm going to pop that on there onto our little circle, and that is from the Stylish Shapes. They will never ever leave my craft room. I want to keep those forever. Right, now in that set, she says, which set, Jill? Which set is it, Jill? It's this new set, Garden Poetry. No, it's not that set. It's the other. Oh my goodness, crikey! It's this set, Paradise Garden. Is it Paradise? Oh, I don't know. Look, I'll put all the details below. But there's this die set that goes with it, and you know, I'm sure it's right here, staring me in the face. But it had this label. It's got 3 labels in them, and naturally they're all the same size. Like this one is this size, that one is that. So I've cut out, and I'm going to do the same trick I did the other day with a little metal rule and a craft knife. And it puts this gorgeous little embossed border on it. So I'm just going to cut that off. I mean, that's pretty much straight. So bear with me while I just do this, okay? And then I'll be able to have nesting. Yeah, oops, that's my silicone mat. I didn't mean to cut it on that. Dear, oh dear. Hang on while I flip this over a bit. That's better. So line that up again, and I'll just chop that bit off there. And then I'm going to chop this bit off here. And hopefully I didn't just wreck that. And then I'm just going to go all the way around. Yeah, just going to go all the way around, and hopefully we'll end up with like nesting labels. Yeah, for want of a better word. Just hold your horses, honey. Oops. That did not cut. Why not? Hang on. Right, there we go. Let's have a look here. You do need a rule that is either metal or has a metal edge, because quite often your craft knife can cut into a plastic or a wooden rule. Yeah, and you won't be able to use that as a straight edge ever again. It will be ruined forever. So this last little bit here, guys, and I've stamped this, gorgeous. I think this is from the Fabulous Sayings as well. So hopefully that's going to fit in there if my cutting is pretty good. Look at that. A little bit out, but you know what? Handmade card. Hang on. So I'm going to pop that on there. I'm just going to glue that straight on there. And I have just embossed that in basic white. I haven't put the gilding wax on this one because I wanted to show you what it looks like. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This card is going to go like this. I wanted to pop this piece of the beautiful ribbon that comes with that sweet collection. I'm going to pop that about there. Just bear with me while I check it out. Just want that like that. Yep. So I'm just going to... Oh, what can we use? Where is my tape runner? Hold the horses, honey. Oh. I've got Stamp and Seal here. Oh. So I'm just going to pop a bit of, if I can get it running. There we go. Bit of Stamp and Seal on there. And fold that over. Hopefully that's in the right spot. Let's have a look. So it looks straight. Of course it doesn't look straight. Of course it doesn't. Don't pull it too tight because you might, you know, warp the card. So there we go. We've got that there like that. I'm going to actually glue this onto a Blackberry Bliss matte 1. This is matte 2. In the basic white. It's been embossed with that beautiful 3D leaf embossing folder. Look at that. Have you ever seen anything quite as gorgeous as that? Now this could be You're on My Mind. It could be a birthday card. It could be an encouragement card. It could be whatever you want it to. Look at that gorgeous flower. I'm going to actually pop that up. Are they big ones? No, they're little ones. That's all I've got. Little ones. All right. That's what we'll use. Hang on, I've got a couple of edge bits here. So we can tear those off. And ouch, use them. We extend that out to the leaf out there. Pop that out there like that. And I think we've got another bit of an edge bit here. Pop that like that. Pop that like that. Now this is going onto that embossed surface, so we might actually pop a bit of liquid glue just onto these bits. They've been sitting over there, so we'll pop a little bit on there. Sorry, I can't talk and do this at the same time apparently. But if you want quick cards, you know, like if you're cutting out shapes, like basic shapes, so like if you're cutting out circles like this, cut out 4 or 5, pop them in your busy box. Next time you need a circle, you've got a couple to choose from. Look at that. How beautiful is that? I'm going to pop this up as well, if I can pick it up. If I had some big ones, I'd be much happier. But anyway, let's go. There we go. Look at that. Pop one there. Pop one there. Oops, stuck together. where is it? There it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and we'll pop this on as well. Oh, this is the hardest bit. Why is this bit so hard? Oh, but anyway, look, I will pop a couple of little bits of tiny little dots of glue just to make absolutely certain that that adheres to that. So we can pop that there like that. Look at that. We'll just put a little bit of white between them. And how beautiful is that? Now I'm going to glue that straight onto this card front. Oh, should I put something on there? You're on my mind. Sometimes life is just hard. How's that? We'll pop that on. We'll do that in the oh, where's the Blackberry Bliss gone? Hang on. Here it is. Blackberry Bliss. That is from an older set. Look, here's another one of those ones that does not want to cooperate. Yeah, this is from an older set, but I like to use all of my stamps. You know, I bought them, I paid for them. Sometimes you need a sentiment, and there isn't a current set that has that sentiment on it. So sometimes life is just hard. How's that? Look at that beautiful fine font in the Blackberry Bliss. It's just gorgeous. Okay. Hang on 2 seconds. Check that you haven't got Blackberry Bliss all over you. Yeah, because we know that's a thing. I'm going to lay that down like that and glue this on. Now, this one, you might want embellishments on it. I don't even know what I've got handy, but let's have a look. So matte 1 in Blackberry Bliss, matte 2 in basic white, but make it matte 1 to allow for the shrinkage of the embossing folder. Then cut it down to matte 2, and it will. You'll have perfectly lined up borders. Look at that. Sometimes life is just hard. Now that looks like you've put a lot of work into that, embossing, colouring and things like that. They were quick to do. So that's card number 2. Let's have a look. Now, the other 2, oh, this is another one that I made with that little scrap that I had. I cut it down. I just bordered, like I matted it with basic white and then the basic black. I've made that a feature panel on this card, and it's a happy birthday card. That could be for a guy or for a lovely lady. Up to you whether they like leaves. Now the other one is this one here. I have made a full card out of this one. I've really emphasized, I've gone over the embossing, the really raised areas. I did the whole lot lightly with the gilding wax, and then I went back over with more, just hitting these highlights. So that one's got a lot of shine on it. And those sunflowers look absolutely amazing. Dare I say, gorgeous. And then I just kind of swiped a little bit of the gilding wax around the edges of that little sentiment. I don't know if you can pick that up there, but it's there. I'm going to line these up in a minute. The last card that we're going to make is a square one. Now, what I want to do is, I've done it in Night of Navy. Night of Navy, the gorgeous sunflowers. Now, I'll show you how I enhanced that with the gilding wax, okay? So you can see that I've done like one layer of that. I've really rubbed it right in. These bits are not prominent at all. So this is what I did after it had sat for a little while and kind of dried, because remember, we've put some baby oil / mineral oil into this thing. So I'm going to actually have to put this on another part of my hand because that part's got glue on it now. Dear, oh dear. So we'll pop that there, and I'm just going to sort of mix it up on my finger, and then I'm going to sort of just very, very lightly touch it to those very embossed areas. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference there. That's the bit I just did again. That's the bit I did it all over with. And we'll finish this off. This you'll see. Look at that. How gorgeous has that come up? And we've got the subtle background. So I'm just basically hitting the high points here with this extra layer of the gilding wax. And it just, it's just so gorgeous. I haven't used this for a long time because it kind of set hard in the little pot, in the little jar. Look at that. Another little bit. And we'll just do, look at that bit. Look at that bit there. I'm going to do it. Do you see the difference in that? See if you can get yourself some of this stuff, because it's as quick as that. So just let me cover that up. Let me just get another piece of paper towel, guys, and get that baby oil happening again. And we'll put this card together as well, okay? Just simple, ordinary, everyday baby oil. Let me see, does it have written on here the ingredients? Mineral oil, and fragrance. That's all it is, mineral oil and fragrance. And I smell like a baby. So, yeah. Anyway, look, we'll put this one together too. Now, I can't remember what sentiment I was going to use on this one. I think maybe it was just, what's this one? Oh, what about this one? What does it say? You make the world a better place. How's that? That's gorgeous. We'll use that one, okay? You make the world a better place. Now, this is what I do. Like, I just drop them. And if they've gotten out of whack, they put themselves back in whack, if you know what I mean. So we're going to use the Night of Navy. And what I thought I might do is glue this backing piece. So I've got a piece of foil. I had a piece of gold foil. It's like a very small border. Very, very small. So I think I had started off with a, let me see, I think it's 3 by 3. I think it's 8.5 centimeters, or roughly about 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square. I've embossed just that little square. Just that little square. So then like 1/2 centimeter, and maybe 1/8 of an inch, I've made the gold foil piece larger, and then I've put another piece of Night of Navy the same distance. So if it's 1/2 centimeter or 1/8 of an inch, I've done them going down in graduating size. So I'm going to glue this one on here. Now, you'll notice this is a square card. Square cards are really nice in your sense of symmetry, which I do have. Square cards are really nice for a change, if you know what I mean. So this one hasn't been folded yet, so just bear with me. Okay, now I can have this as a tent fold or as an opening fold. Because it's square, it doesn't matter which way I put this on, it's going to fit, right? So what I need to do is glue this one on first.